You realize the world I come from is where everyone is pup canine in the event that you assuming that you mean. It's the greatest, the baddest in the local. You run the area. The police were anxious about him, is there has been pessimistic, misleading publicity put out about me that is false. I can make a man, he said, on the off chance that I can make a man suck my dick. I can make individuals accomplish for cash. That is what you said. Puff, yo fella, you gave me the ushka slice, you gave me the huge folks day. Clutch your boxing gloves, people, since we're jumping into the succulent reports, encompassing the unbelievable Mike Tyson's thrill ride venture through popularity fortune, and a few obscure dealings with. In all honesty, the famous Diddy, the web has been burning with stories of Tyson's Chapter 11 and his extraordinary rebound. Yet, as per Iron Mike himself, apparently Diddy's naughty plots assumed a giant part in his turbulent life picture. This Diddy, the brains behind a trap of sketchy endeavors, some way or another figured out how to snare Mike Tyson in his mischievous web, while the previous champion was wavering on the edge of monetary ruin. And wait for a minute or two on the grounds that the narratives whirling in the shadows recommend that these capers were out-and-out extreme gay gatherings. Definitely know it ain't terrible, except for you realize, like I expressed. That is for me to you, thank you, sibling, better believe it. What are we doing, man? We should discuss this person. No doubt. How about we discuss Puff? Currently, what's rewind? And wonder a boxing legend himself, Mike Tyson, at a simple 20 years of age. This enormous pugilist had proactively vanquished the zenith of his game, lolling in an unmatched mix of distinction and fortune. The man was swimming in abundance, overwhelming his rivals with each swing, and making more money than he could count, yet much to his dismay, that this inebriating mixed drink of progress would ultimately turn into his kryptonite, sending him spiraling into a fight with his own fame and fortune, as per a disclosure directly from Mike Tyson's wild ride on his digital broadcast suitably named Hot, enclosing a remarkable episode. Tyson, joined by the genius behind boisterous music, Steve Rifkin, let the cat out of the bag on his marvelous profit during the 80s. We should say it was a boatload of money. Yet here's the kicker: Iron Mike had positively nobody to rein in his spending or proposition him monetary direction. As a matter of fact, he obstinately chose to disregard the people who attempted to exhort him, all while watching his fossil abundance evaporate like a phantom. You need to awaken me in those days. I was thinking 2018 million bucks. So I'm doing anything I desire. And I don't have no one got a channel. And say hello, Mike return. That is only a tad nibbled in excess of Mike, said a person like me. In those days I was making 18 million bucks. So I'm doing anything I desire. And I don't have no one got a chain on me. And said hello, Mike return. That is a tad in excess of Mike, guaranteed that nobody was no picnic for him on the best way to utilize his cash, and that each time somebody encouraged him on the best way to utilize his cash, he wouldn't listen. It was his cash, he made it. He could do anything he desired with it. Hello, Mike return. Mike, we should put something aside for the future, they said. That yet I would have rather not heard. That I would rather not put my cash in no damn bank, you insane. I needed it in my home, blow it, all each second of it, he said. Might you at any point accept it? Tyson's fortune once took off to over a stunning 400 million bucks toward the finish of his famous boxing vocation. Yet, unfortunately, the slight successes of destiny moved throughout his life, driving him to the feared announcement of liquidation in 2003, leaving him destitute and grasping at the leftovers of his once extravagant realm. Gracious, the explanations behind Tyson's monetary ruin are basically as fluctuated as the varieties in a kaleidoscope. One glaring element was his unrestrained spending binge. Envision different rich houses, decked out with sumptuous knickknacks, generally bought at marvelous costs. And that is not all. People, Tyson had a great armada of supercars, as though he possessed his own special extravagance vehicle showroom. Gracious. And we should not fail to remember the clincher. Not one, not two, yet three brilliant pet tigers, which cost him a flat-out fortune to really focus on it's totally ridiculous that somebody would decide to keep one, as well as 3 tigers in their own house. What's far more detestable for Mike is that he was cutting off the very individuals who were attempting to help him in dealing with his life and funds. During that time, Tyson blamed his chief were-ruler for keeping his legitimate profit from battles accordingly. He recorded a 100 million bucks claim against the advertiser, charging extortion and asserting that he had been deceived out of his income. Tyson encountered a troublesome period in his life, and it was during his most minimal minutes that he was regularly found in the organization of Diddy anyway. It's significant not to misconstrue what is going on. It has become to some degree a loosely held bit of information in Hollywood that Diddy's luxurious gatherings frequently elaborate express exercises. These gatherings being profoundly well-known, Mike related himself with the business tycoon. For those uninformed, Diddy has confronted numerous allegations from different superstars in regards to his propensity to apply control over those he accepts need his help. Some even case that he took to the drastic course of action of requesting sexual blessings from them. Among the individuals who stood in opposition to Diddy was Puma Wright, who blamed the business magnate for participating in unseemly way of behaving. As per her, Diddy had a gathering with vocalist and New Jack City entertainer Christopher Williams to examine a potential demo bargain anyway. Rather than essentially marking the demo, Diddy supposedly asked for fellatio. Panther shared that she was educated about this occurrence by a lawyer who used to work for Diddy. The lawyer required endorsement for a few desk work and entered Diddy's office decisively when she saw the entryway was open anyway. What she saw inside the room caused her to understand that she ought to have been more mindful prior to entering. The entryway wasn't locked, so she didn't mull over strolling in. Wright said when she strolled in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio on Puff. Puma declared that while the lawyer viewed the sight as astounding, it wasn't, however, much vexatious, as it seemed to be humiliating in spite of staying totally under control. At the time, Diddy supposedly faced her about the episode the next day as per Puma, as opposed to letting the matter go or giving a clarification. Diddy was purportedly forceful. He addressed whether she expected to impart the episode to anybody, and when she courteously asked why he hadn't locked the entryway, he allegedly answered with an assertion, declaring his opportunity to do anything he satisfied in his own structure its influence. See, Diddy purportedly told the attorney, on the off chance that I could make a man suck my dick, I could make individuals do anything for cash, placing everything into thought is unmistakable. Mike's contribution with Diddy had something as per cash parties and different men in the past. Mike Tyson's activities and words showed some degree of homophobia anyway. As of late, he earned huge consideration for standing up to occupied boss in regards to the remarks the last option made about Dwayne Swim's transsexual little girl Zaya Swim back in February. This change in Tyson's position with regards to this issue has grabbed individuals' eye during Boosie's visitor appearance on Mike Tyson's digital broadcast Warm Boxing with Mike Tyson, dug into the purposes for Boosie's spontaneous remarks about Zaya, who emerged as a transsexual young lady. In his journey to comprehend Boosie's viewpoint, Tyson posed him a testing inquiry about his own sexuality. Tyson asked, "For what reason do you offer slanderous expressions about people who might recognize as gay? What rouses you to do so? Is it conceivable that by slighting them you limit any association with any chance of being gay? I'm contemplating whether you have some degree of fascination towards gay people." Yuzi answered by confirming that he is totally hetero and held firm in his position. This drove Mike to look for explanation on his unique inquiry, as he found it confusing why a hetero man like Boosie would include himself in hostile way of behaving toward the gay local area. He asked, occupied in the event that you're straight, for what valid reason do you irritate individuals? Boosie proceeded to make sense of why he shared his contemplations on Zia Swim, guaranteeing that he remarked on the Dwayne Swim circumstance Since he got annoyed in light of the fact that it's a kid, Boosie said, "That is the reason I truly got annoyed. That is what I truly said, assuming it was a MF 19-year-old, 18-year-old developed individual. I presumably wouldn't I realize. I could not have possibly said nothing." Boosie said that he felt the youngster was too youthful to even consider progressing, and that the family ought to allow her to grow up prior to settling on life-changing choices for her. Mike Tyson concurred with Boosie's feeling, yet shared that he brings no spot to the table for his perspective with regards to this issue since he wasn't a piece of it. Yet an ally who the am I to say anything, he asked Boosie. "My thought process don't mean a thing." Boosie later apologized to Dwayne Swim, despite the fact that he actually said that he didn't uphold their choice and truly intended what he'd shared with them. "Gracious, definitely. I am sorry to Dwayne Swim," Boosie said. "I am genuinely serious about what I said, yet I shouldn't have expressed the about your kid prior." Occupied boss went on a transphobic bluster via virtual entertainment about Dwayne Swim showing support for his 12-year-old kid Zaya, whose relegated sex is a male, yet she distinguishes as a